Letting number 8700, 2020 Capital Main Replacement Program, 6-inch main in Maury Avenue, City of St. Louis Water Division, St. Louis, Missouri. We have 6 bids. 2 won't be read because they're in improper envelopes, so we'll read 4. J.H. Barra Construction Company, Inc., J.H. B.E.R.R.A. Construction Company, Inc., $643,144. 643,144.00. Pavement Solutions, LLC, PAVEMENT Solutions, LLC, $750,222.83. 750,222.83. 750,222.83. Bomarito Construction, BOMARITO Construction, $630,325.50. 630,325.50. TGB Inc., T.G.B. Inc., $584,291. 584,291.00. With the low bidder, please meet with Ms. Bryant in the hallway. Thank you. Yes.
Hearing number 8233. Hearing number 8233 is being conducted pursuant to Section 26.100.030 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether to revoke conditional use permit numbered as 126473, issued for Kings and Queens Resale Shop, LLC, CO Kevin Payne, to occupy 8118 North Broadway as a resale shop with new and used items subject to certain conditions. The parties have been notified of the violations of the conditions of this conditional use permit in writing by certified mail, along with the posted notice of today's hearing. This hearing has been convened in order to address issues surrounding conditions number 3 and number 7 of the conditional use permit, and the conditions in question are as follows. Condition 3. There shall be no display or sale of items on the exterior of the premise at any time. And Condition 7. All signs shall require a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given the opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. Your testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered as 126473, issued to Kings and Queens LLC, CO Kevin Payne, to occupy 8118 North Broadway as a resale shop with new and used items subject to certain conditions. Item 3, a letter dated May 17, 2019, sent to Kings and Queens LLC, CO Kevin Payne, 8118 North Broadway, from the zoning inspector, warning of the violations of conditions numbered 3 and 7 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days of the date of the letter. Item 4, a memorandum dated June 26, 2019, from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator, stating that upon that date, the zoning inspector found violations of conditions numbered 3 and 7 of the conditional use permit. This memo includes photographs of the said violation. Item 5, a certified copy of letters dated July 30th, 2019, sent to the conditional use permit holder and the property owner from the board secretary providing notice of today's hearing. And item 6, a photograph of the public notice posted for today's hearing. At this time, the board asks the representative of the Office of Zoning Administrator please come forward and be sworn in.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Would you state your name for the board?
My name is Myra Turner. I'm zoning inspector for the City of St. Louis.
Please proceed.
Okay. As of today, number 7 is still in violation. All signs shall require a permit. Signage is in the window. I didn't find permits for. Let me say, on Saturday, I was by there and there was patio furniture out on the front. But today it didn't look like the business was even open. And so they still have the signage. They did not have the furniture out there. Also, as a note, the 30-day warning letter that was sent to them returned unclaimed. On the envelope, it was written that the business was closed. So that is my report as of today.
So as of today, your inspection, the signage is still in the window without a permit.
Correct.
But the building was closed when you went to visit. You couldn't visit and go inside.
No.
And then the actual letter was returned with closed business written on it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I gave you a copy of that.
So from your perspective, the business is probably closed.
No. From my perspective, because I have witnessed personally that the business is open, they just didn't claim the certified letter.
Okay. All right. Other questions from the board?
Is there any signature, or I'm familiar with certified letters, is there any signature or date on the certified letter form that came back to you? Or any printed name or any information other than what you... Okay.
And I gave a copy to
Okay,
the...
I'll take a look.
Okay,
I'm just curious.
but...
If I may, is the mailing address the same as the business?
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions from the board? Just one final question. Have you anytime recently witnessed a business being open yourself?
Yes, I was by there Saturday,
And it was open?
and it was open.
Got
There
it.
was some yellow patio furniture out on the front.
Okay, great. Further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. If there's anyone else present who wishes to testify the noted conditions have not been complied with, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, the board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Okay. I have. Yes, ma'am. My name is Kevin Payne.
Can you please respond to the violations and the information presented by the zoning administrator's office?
Yes. I've never received, first of all, I'll say good morning to everybody at the panel. I never received that letter. We're open Monday through Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. I've never even heard about that letter. So
You have not seen the letter?
never seen that letter, but I do buy furniture all through the week. I go to estate sales and I purchase furniture, so I'm constantly in and out buying and moving and grooving. I do deliveries. I do like everything. So I probably wasn't there when she came, or I didn't get a chance to. She may have talked to my secretary or my but I've never seen her before in my life. I never even received a letter. I wouldn't have no reason to turn it down.
So you're Kevin Payne?
I
correct?
am Kevin Payne. Kevin
Okay,
E.
and
Payne.
your address is 8118 North Broadway?
That is correct. 63147.
3147.
That is
So that's where the certified letter was sent and
Okay.
it was returned.
yes, sir.
And so obviously you didn't see the letter.
I didn't get the letter.
But
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking about two conditions today.
Okay.
And so condition number 3 is there can be no display or sale of items on the exterior of your building. Do you have anything currently that you're displaying or selling on the exterior?
Yes, I set out things every day. I want to read my I had to prepare a statement. Can I get that? Is that okay? Okay. Well, I can't find it. So anyway, again, my name is Kevin Payne. I started this. Me and my started this business. I think early March. The young lady right here is her name is Dana. She's our landlady. We started the business in the community because it was a need. I didn't know that when we came and did the initial business license and I paid everything and got everything going, I didn't know it would spiral into something bigger than what I was going after. I was only going after it to help the community, just to, buy couches and love seats and things, primarily out in Chesterfield, Wildwood, primarily out where and just bring it back to the hood, so people can have some nice items and, nice refrigerators and nice stoves and washers and dryers and rugs and carpets and lamps, things that they can afford, because I wasn't trying to get rich off the stuff. Obviously, if you know this business, you're not going to get rich, but I did want to help the people in the community, so I chose to come to Baton area because it's a higher percentage of African American that live down there that do not have anything. And so when I chose that area, I met this young lady here. She gave me an option to do a lease. We did a lease. She actually helped us through this whole process of getting the license and the registrations and the permits and everything to make sure that the place looked good and it would be a good, small, decent place to celebrate and help the people that's in the community, because they really do not have it. They just, if I'm the person that I know, only person I know that's selling couches for under $100 for love seating and the couch and the rug, and anybody can come in at any given day and buy something that they just need just to make their place home, And so I guess that was my whole intent. I had left doing security to try to do this, due to my high blood pressure and my blood stuff was all cracked up. But anyway, I did this to strictly help the people. It's not a profit thing. You're really not making much, because if anybody can do small math, know that if I'm using my U-Haul truck to go out and I'm going to places out 40, 50 miles out to buy a truckload full of furniture at estate sales and getting stuff, I'm running a high bill, I'm running gas, my insurance, I'm not getting labor, and I'm bringing it back and I'm practically giving the stuff away. People that want to get off the floor, we run into different walks of life every single day. These people don't have nothing over there, and so we're trying to be a pillar in the community so that people have somewhere to go and know that, hey, I can go with $150, $200, and I can get my place up and get my kids off the floor, help my kids out, So I didn't know that I was going to be here. I didn't know that. I didn't even want to get up here and talk. I wanted her to talk. But I did. She's probably absolutely correct. I do put stuff out every day. If I do not put things out, we do not sell this stuff. We're located on the corner of Baden, 8118 North Broadway. If we don't put stuff out, we do not sell nothing. And it's just that simple. Because I look at the books. I've been there since March. In order to sell this stuff, these people have to see this stuff, and they have to come in and take opportunity to buy the stuff. But I can't help people. I can do all I can do, but I cannot help people if they don't see this stuff outside. We have two, not even 100 yards away, we have a high rise with elderly people that come down all the time, and they don't have it. They don't have it. We got to the point that we're actually giving them the stuff and having them come back and make partial payments on $50 and $60. So I didn't get into this business to win. I just got into business in order to help before I get out of here, to put my footprint in the sand. My goal was to do it for my kids so that I have adult kids, so when they get ready to come out of college and graduate, they can come in and take over this thing and help the people, because that's what I feel like it's about. I didn't know that it was a big thing to put stuff outside. I am totally guilty. It's my decision. I'm the CEO of the company. I did it. Yeah, I put stuff out there, but the days that I don't put stuff outside, the people are just flying by. And it's not like and I hope that you all get a chance to see the exhibits of the front. It's not just a regular sidewalk. You guys did a great job, awesome job, and you have spread this sidewalk to the wall. It's plenty of room to walk, to pass by. There's no safety issue. Obviously, I'm a big fan of safety and security, but there's all of our elderly people, all of our people that walk with walkers, all the people that ride the walkers and the wheelchairs and stuff. There's plenty of room to go through. It's not obstructing. But I hope you guys get a chance to see the pictures on both sides and, go from there. But I'm just telling you what. You got a question? Go ahead, please.
So a conditional use permit is granted by this board.
Yes, sir.
Because your business is either in an area that is zoned differently or residential or something along those lines.
Yes, sir.
And so when the permit was originally issued, which I don't have the date right with me, it's here, we go through and we give you conditions of things so that you become a good neighbor to the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
And you fit in with everybody else. And so one of your conditions that was there is that you shall not display or sell any items on the exterior of your business.
Yes, sir.
I would have thought that if you had a question or comment about that, or you felt compelled that you had to do that,
yes, sir,
you would have contacted the zoning administrator's office and said, this is something I'd like to look into.
Okay.
Not just do that,
yes, sir,
without any approval. Do you understand where I'm going?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so with that, I would just like to add this little small note. After the note came out saying that I was in violation for this particular ordinance, we did go and talk to the commissioner of the community board, and we did have a talk. We have paperwork from them guys saying that they've been watching us for months, and they have no problem with what we're doing. And I understand where we're going with it. Also, we talked to the landlord. We got a petition started so that we can show you all that these people don't have a problem with what I'm doing in the community. So I did bring that.
But the fact and point today is the condition is there.
I'm totally in fault. Yes, sir.
At this moment, you have and you do and you would like to sell things outside.
Absolutely.
But the permit doesn't allow for that.
It's all my fault, and I take full responsibility. I put the stuff out there every day. I do it.
That's
Yes, sir.
That's item one.
Yes, sir.
And so the second is that all signs shall require a permit from the building division. So as I look at the photographs here that were
Yes, sir.
presented today,
Yes, sir.
there's some signage in your window.
Yeah,
So
Yes, sir.
is there some reason you don't have a permit for that?
I never got a permit. I just printed that thing off. It's just a small little. Sorry, pardon. It's just a small little thing just to let the people know where we at. And I didn't know that I didn't consider that a sign. My definition of a sign was up on the thing with the lights and the. I didn't know that if I put something in the window with a small. I didn't know that was labeled or deemed as a sign.
All needs to be permitted. Okay.
I totally agree that I understand, but the definition of sign in my world, in my life, in my simple thinking, would be a huge sign on the thing with the neon lights and all of that. So I'm guilty for whatever you all are. I'm totally guilty, and I'm not trying to squeeze or work out of that. Whatever I need to do process wise to get it right, I will do. But I didn't know that was a sign officially. It's just a piece of paper just labeled up there,
Right.
just to let the people know where I'm at.
So what I would recommend is to look back at your conditional use permit. I would understand what all the conditions are to make sure you're in compliance. Obviously, the board has some discussions to make. There may be
Okay.
some further questions here.
Anybody.
But what I'm understanding is that you would like to have things out on the street.
It's, in order for me to stay in business, I'm sorry, I apologize.
And
In order
that
for me to
you-
stay in business in that community, it is a must that I have to put the stuff out there because there's so much traffic that goes by there, and I'm not able to recomp or buy more stuff for the people to help the people. So the people that come in that I have to donate to them beds and mattresses and box springs and sheets and towels and so on and so forth, I cannot do it due to my funding. I can give them as much as I can. I help the kids all summer. I've hired nobody outside of my neighborhood. That neighborhood has everybody. I hire ex-drug offenders. I hire just a laundry list of the kids that was off this summer. I hired these kids to go in here and do this, clean up the neighborhood, do this, clean up this, cut the grass, get the place together. So it's not like I was being malicious or trying not to help the people. That's the only. It's not enough money in it to go through this. I'm missing a day's pay now because I'm here and I made a mistake and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fix it. But I mean, man, I didn't even know about the letter, So I apologize. Anybody got a question for me? I'm ready to. But it's all my fault, nobody else's. It's totally me. I'm totally guilty of this.
And then just to follow up is if the board would allow that, you would be in agreement to go to the building division. and
Absolutely.
get a
I'll do
permitted
anything you all
sign.
tell me. I paid if you look, I paid all of the fees and they charged me, I came down here and paid my licensing fee and they charged me $20 on top of the license fee because I didn't get the mail. And I just paid it. I have no problem doing the proper process. I just didn't know that it was a big deal. So it's totally my fault. The sign, I can get a sign. I can pay whatever it is to pay it to make sure the community can be uplifted. And I want to root and ground in this neighborhood. I mean, I want to help the people, but I want to go through a bunch of rigmarole to try to, get them to, I'm just trying to help. That's it.
The only other thing I would recommend to you is have a conversation with our zoning inspector, sit down with her, work through the conditions of your
problem with
permit.
that. I have no
She's
problem.
very knowledgeable. She could help you understand,
Sure.
all the ins and outs of what you need to do with
Please.
that, okay?
Please. And I want to get her card. Is that okay?
Sit
Okay.
tight.
Yes,
Other
sir.
questions from the board?
Anybody?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
If there's anyone else opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in.
Yes, I do. It's S. Dana Stiebel. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. I'm going to hand you a resume, not because I want a job, but there's 4 pages of why I get paid over $200 an hour to render the exact kind of opinion that I'm rendering here. I've been in commercial real estate longer than anybody back here has been alive. What?
What is your opinion? You
My
said you
opinion,
get paid $200
no,
an
my
hour to give
opinion
an
is that
opinion.
this.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
You get $200 an hour to give an opinion. What's your opinion?
I go to, I'm getting to my opinion on this, but I go to shopping malls, I go to streetscapes where people are doing development, and do demographic surveys, retail surveys, the whole constellation of retail viability is what I'm an expert in. And I'm just saying that the reason I say this is because this use in this neighborhood is really important.
Well, we understand, and I thought Mr. Payne did a really decent job of that. The question is do you believe that he's in compliance with the conditional use?
I do not believe that he is in compliance, but I believe what I am going to request, what I'm here to ask for, is for you to take a look at this and look into amending the conditions. I have here, and I have a number of copies of it. This is the streets business district land use key, and the red is vacant. It looks like somebody opened a vein and bled all over this street. The big pink blob is an industrial use that presents to the Broadway Avenue a 6-foot chain link fence and a tilt-up concrete wall with no doors or windows. So his ability to do business, to get noticed on this street, which runs at an incredible speed. The speed limit's 30 miles an hour. I haven't seen anybody doing 30 who didn't have a flat tire or a car problem. And there is no enforcement. The speed limit is a suggestion, and the street light is a joke up there. And we haven't seen a police officer since 2 days after the improvements were completed.
All right, so you do know that all the police officers in the city of St. Louis work for me? They all work for me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And I'm sure that they're doing a job elsewhere, but it isn't helping with this situation where we have very fast traffic and no stops at the light. And we have, between Riverview and the train trellis, if you'll look at your own statistics, sir, we have one fatality a year for the 12 years that I've been here for a hit and run. That's not somebody getting hit at 30. As far as I brought pictures of the street. LRA owns most of what's across the street from this gentleman. I'm not going to say very much more than that. I'm sure you've heard it all from people who are adjacent to LRA properties. There is everybody who is doing business with retail that can be placed on the street does that. I have one picture that came out very dark, but we have our soap guy who puts all of his stuff out. And it's not because they want to be bad people, it's because it's the only way you can get people to notice you to stop. We're also one of the blood bucket neighborhoods in the city. So getting people to stop who have money to spend on this street is very, very difficult. And what I would request, because this is an important service, I ran a thrift shop here for 3 years. It is important to the neighborhood to have this service here. There are very few retail services in the neighborhood. There's almost nothing that does what he does in terms of furniture other than a rent-to-own, which is really out of the price range of many people, and with their practices puts many people in really much more serious financial situation than they begin with. He is doing a community service. It's one of the reasons I leased to him. So I'm asking for your help to keep this thing going, and help our neighborhood. We don't get a lot of help in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Questions from the board? Thank you. If there's anyone else present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in.
Yes. I do. I will. My name is Teresa Colton. And Kevin Payne is my business partner, and we do business together at 8118 North Broadway. And I would like to just express to you guys to help us revise the ordinance, because it will be impossible to sell. We are open today, and she's right. She passed through there, but we absolutely have nothing out there. It looks like a ghost town. So we're open. It just doesn't look like it because there's nothing out. The doors are open. We have someone there now waiting. But when she came by, she talked with me, and we complied with it for about 2 weeks. Our sales went down to $6, $7 a day, and we just can't survive. We can't pay our bills off $6 or $7 a day. And me, myself, and Kevin, we've been in the business for over 10 years, and I've been all through the city selling furniture. And we thought that it was one of those rules, like a milk carton rule, like you can't set stuff out, but you can. So we didn't think that people would be offended by it, because every resale shop in St. Louis sets stuff out. Not that it makes it right, but we thought that it was just an unspoken rule until we got there and offended someone. So if you can show us how to amend this, show us what to do so that we can keep the doors open, so that we can keep business going, and we would appreciate that. I also have a petition. I got a petition for some of our customers and the Board of Business in Baton that is supporting us, saying that they wish that we would stay. If you guys can give us a chance to revise it, show us what to do, that they're in support of it. So I have that here. I have a letter from the Business Association. Also, I have our customers that come in that would like to see us stay open.
Questions from the board? Thank you very much. If there's anyone else present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in.
I do. My name is Antonio Lewis, and I'm a friend and customer of Kingston Queens Resale Shop. And I'm here to give my 2 cents as far as dealing with the issue of having items on the sidewalk. I want to reiterate what she was saying about the traffic. I think the speed limit is like 35 or 30 or something like that, but cars go generally about 55 miles per hour going through there. So, I mean, and it also looked like a plain blur, like looking at the building, looking at the pictures. You cannot tell that this is a store separate from any other vacant buildings over there. So people just drive through and they don't know. And so unless there are items out so people can see, and it's not like they're trash items, they're good quality items. She said she saw a patio set. That's a nice patio set that was out there. And so again, it's just they were saying they're bringing different things to the community, like antiques and so on and so forth, like, that people don't have access to. And I shop there all the time, and so I'm handicapped. I had a stroke back in 2013, and so right now I don't have any I used to walk with a cane, but now I walk with a serious limp. But I still get through and find my way to items throughout the store and so on and so forth. And also I saw just different type of people that come to the store. Different cultures, different neighborhoods, to come and see the different things that are in the store. Like, again, like some of the items he was talking about come from Chesterfield, and she was comparing those things to like the rip-off stores, like National Rental and so on. So I don't want to say the name, but some of the rental stores that rip us off, they have the predatory practices and so on and so forth. And so you get a bid from one of those chain stores, you end up paying an arm and a leg, and if you can't pay for it, they come take it for you. They call you and harass you at the job and so on and so forth. And so I think this service, this product that they have is vital to the neighborhood. It helps me out a lot. And so again, like I say, back to the way the neighborhood looks. She was talking about a lot of the places owned by LRA, they're vacant. They're all just like a slab color. You can't really tell what it is. There's a store next to it. It has this bar none, has like a huge sign painted in the window. You could tell what it is, but I mean, like that store, you can't really tell what it is because with no signage. And just to go through the process of getting a permit to get a sign is super expensive. And I don't know if I guess if it's necessary, but then they need to do it. But I mean, I understand the cost that's associated with getting a sign, and I think that's it.
Questions from the board? Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
If there's anyone else present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, I'd like to introduce a number of items into evidence before I close this hearing. The zoning inspector's report will be introduced as item A in photographs. The item from our first speaker today, Ms. Treble, will be introduced as item B. And then the item submitted from the Baden Business Association will be introduced as item C. The matter concerning hearing number 8233 is now closed and submitted. The board will now proceed with its regular agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Here.
Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Augustin.
Here.
Director Eccles.
Here.
Director Edwards. And President Bradley.
Here we have a quorum. I'll call this meeting to order.
From the President, plans and specifications for letting number 8703, SLMPD, property custody tactical relocation. Preliminary approval for letting number 8691, asphalt overlay in Banshee Road, Avid Road to Missouri Bottom Road, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Contract and bond for letting number 8698, ADA upgrade and renovations to Gregory J. Carter Park Comfort Station, St. Louis, Missouri. PSA number 1233, Compton Avenue Bridge reconstruction, St. Louis, Missouri. Federal project number STP 5451602. Supplemental agreement number 3 to PSA number 1192, engineering design services for airfield projects, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Supplemental agreement number 1 to PSA number 1226, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing design services, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Equipment services design contract for cleaning, flushing, inspecting, repair, and replacement of air exchanges, DOCs, DPFs, fuel tanks, oil coolers, and radiators for vehicles and equipment. Second Amendment to contract number 71721, overhead door service contract. Amendment number 2 to contract number 73275 for HVAC services contract for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department Forensic Lab. Recommendation that the following festival zones be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Big Muddy Blues Festival, August 31st, 2019 at Laclede Landing. Macklin Days, September 28th, 2019 at Macklin Neighborhood on Macklin between Devonshire and Nottingham. Sister Strut Breast Cancer Walk, October 5th, 2019 at Schiller Park and American Legion Park, Chestnut and Market at 14th and City Streets. Brew in the Lou, October 12th, 2019 at Francis Park. From the President and Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permit be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Metropolitan Sewer District to dedicate parts of 8518 and 8520 Gilmore. And Metropolitan Sewer District to construct cul-de-sac in City Block 4243, and City Block 5326 of Gilmore Avenue. From the President and Director of Streets, recommendation that permit for Leo Hellman to encroach with handicap entrance ramp at 3951 Gravois be filed by reason of the fact that the applicant has abandoned the permit. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits for AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. From manhole approximately 132 feet south from Market Street, bore a total of 117 feet to place a new 2-inch inner duct with fiber inside before continuing into customer property at 2144 Market Street. 1 4x4 cut restore pavement will be required for turning or of boring. Contractor to access manhole in front of 1124 Lumineer Place and bore 175 feet east along Biddle to the side of 1124 Lumineer. This is to provide service to 1124 Lumineer Place. Lane closure will be needed. Contractor to pole at 4607 Beck and bore 376 feet south to the side of 4621 Chippewa. Lane closure will not be needed. Recommendation that the following permits for charter communications be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Starting at existing charter telephone pole located at 1622 Glasgow, south of Madison, charter will riser down to underground boring north 461 feet, placing the vault in the sidewalk. Then carry on north 335 feet more feet, placing a vault in sidewalk at the corner of Glasgow, etc. Starting at 1216 Lynch, bore east 367 feet plus minus 15 feet off of the south curve, lie to 11th Street. From there, bore north 185 feet down 11th plus or minus 15 feet off of the east curve line to alley. From there, bore east 211 feet to building 1001 Lynch. Total footage is 763 feet. Charter Communications will be installing underground coax cable to a customer at 3926 Geraldine. Charter will cut a 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet pothole on the west side of Geraldine across the street from 3926 Geraldine, etc. Recommendation that the following permits for MCI Metro access be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Place 1 2-inch conduit and handholds for new fiber starting at existing handhole located in front of 1000 Macklin. Bore and place conduit for new fiber 5,163 feet west along the south side of Oakland to existing handhole at Tam. Turn south and bore along the east side of Tam for 508 feet to the existing handhole in front of 1046 Tam, etc. Bore and replace 1 2-inch conduit and handholds for new fiber, starting at existing handhole at 6135 Manchester. Bore east along the north side of Manchester for 625 feet, and then place a new handhold at 1615 Hampton. Then bore 100 feet northwest across Hampton. Then turn north and continue boring north 1,050 feet to 1217 Hampton, then place a new handhold. Access bore and place 1 2-inch conduit and handholds for new fiber starting at existing handhold front of 6600 Manchester. Bore west along the south side of Manchester for 715 feet, ending at existing handhold front of 6726 Manchester. From existing handhold front of 6823 Manchester, resume boring 894 feet west along the north side of Manchester Avenue to McCausland, etc. Recommendation that permit for level 3 communications to provide fiber optic connectivity from existing level 3 CenturyLink facilities to 222 South Newstead building, beginning at existing manhole located south of 4367 Duncan Parcel, placing conduit to connect this manhole with existing building manhole south of 222 South Newstead, etc. From the Director of Public Utilities and Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Kim Town LLC to consolidate land at 2127 through 2151 Rear Clifton in City Block 4792. KAF Samuel LLC to consolidate land at 3300 through 06 Delmore and 719 North Leonard in City Block 1045. Yitz Hots Nalik to consolidate land at 2348 through 50 Michigan in City Block 1431. And GFL Environmental Greater St. Louis to consolidate land at 518 DeSoto and 5006 through 36 Bower in City Block 3346. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Sandra Long, zoning specialist for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. For board order number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use applications. Approval is recommended for 2 applications, 68 Hampton Village Plaza and 1224 to 26 Ann Avenue. Approval with conditions is recommended for 6 applications, 3421 Oregon, 3633 Marceline, 5409 Riverview, 5433 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, 707 North Euclid, 364 North Boyle. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Are there any questions from the board on the conditional uses?
Motion to approve the conditional uses as presented.
Second. Moved and second for approval. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards. And President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8233 for 8118 North Broadway is a resale shop of new and used items. We heard from our zoning inspector of condition 3 and condition 7. Condition 3 of being in violation sale of outside items, and 7 for signage in the window. The letter was returned, certified letter was returned even though it was addressed correctly. We heard from our conditional use permit holder that, yes, he is in violation of use, item number 3, simply because, in his opinion, he needs to sell these items on the exterior of his business for visibility and viability of his business as well as the neighborhood. And with number 7, he agreed that he would get a permit for the sign. We also heard from 3 different representatives, the neighborhood group, that although they agreed that being in violation of the condition about selling items on the outside, in violation of the sign, they felt that the business was a very viable business for the community and they were doing good things and would hope that we could consider. Now, this board has the opportunity to change conditions when they feel that it's correct to do that. But in this case here, I don't know all the ramifications of allowing furniture and used items to be sold on the sidewalk or within the public right-of-way. So I'm going to defer that question to the city councilor. Is that something that we could allow them to do? Is that something that an encroachment permit would allow? I have not seen that.
It would be subject to an encroachment permit. We have that for sidewalk cafes where they're also making sales in the right-of-way. The concern would be that sidewalk cafes are usually, have an exterior boundary of some sort. So that may be one concern that, they file a plat and petition and delineate a specific area that they make the sales within. So we could assist him and look into that further to where we could come up with an encroachment permit that would help him.
So you feel that it is possible we could modify this condition if we felt that's according?
Yes, subject to, being able to work with him what he specifically wants and making sure that we can make it work out.
So I'd like to open the floor up for discussion from the board, as it seemed like it is a relatively reasonable business, and it seemed like it does good things for the community. I just want to make sure that we're following proper protocol. So open the floor for discussion.
Mr. Chair, I think that that there's an opportunity to get permitted to do exactly what he wants to do, and to bring him into compliance. I would recommend that this matter be continued into November the 12th. That's about 90 days or so, to give him an opportunity to get permitted. With respect to the outside thing, I certainly would hope that the signage violation be taken care of a lot faster than that. Nonetheless, I think if we can give them to November the 12th for a couple of reasons. The first reason, it gives them enough time to try to get a permit to be able to put furniture outside. And secondly, I think that maybe the season will dictate that furniture don't be on the outside in November and December anyway. But if it is, it gives them enough time to, I think, come into compliance, as opposed to taking a position that he is out of compliance.
I have a motion from the Director of Public Safety to table and allow the gentleman 90 days?
Yes, it's about
90
November
days
12th.
to get the matter resolved and possibly get the condition rectified and changed within the parameters of what the laws are. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards. And President Bradley.
Aye. It'll be tabled for 90 days. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, August 13th, 2019. Are there any questions or comments, corrections on the minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moving to second for approval of last week's minutes. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Abstain.
And Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Today's agenda. Questions or comments on the agenda?
Move to approve today's agenda. Second.
Moved to second for approval of today's agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Today's agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.